From people who have been close to the music industry at the very top levels, there are claims that Jay-Z has some personal preferences that many fans would find shocking. The talk is that he enjoys seeing Bianca with other men, and one of the names that has been mentioned is Ray J. These kinds of rumors have floated around for years, but what made things heat up recently is a new interview with Rihanna's ex-manager. In that conversation, he made direct claims that Jay-Z has been secretly involved with men for years. According to him, this is not just a rumor, he says he knows it for a fact. He even went as far as saying Jay has been intimate with men in private settings, something that he claims people in the industry have known for a long time. This all ties back to moments fans have seen over the years that now look very different in hindsight. Many people remember that old clip of Diddy smacking Jay-Z on stage. At the time, it looked like just a playful moment between two powerful men in the industry. But in the clip, Diddy's hand lands firmly, and Jay actually smiles and laughs. Back then, people joked about it, calling it a little suspicious, but no one took it too seriously. Now, with these new claims coming out, that moment is being pulled back into the spotlight as possible evidence that there was more to their relationship than just friendship. It's not the first time Jay-Z has faced speculation about his sexuality. In 2012, he gave an interview where he strongly supported the legalization of gay marriage. In that interview, he said that people should be able to love whoever they want, and that discrimination against someone for their sexuality was the same as discrimination against someone because of their race. He praised President Obama for supporting gay marriage and said it was the right thing to do regardless of whether it cost him political points. On its own, this was a positive and progressive statement. But for people looking for signs, it became another reason to start asking questions. Then, in 2018, Jay-Z talked publicly about how emotional he was when his mother came out as a lesbian. He described crying tears of joy because she was finally able to live freely after hiding for so many years. He even referenced it in his music, talking about how his mother had to pretend to be something she wasn't, how she medicated to deal with the pain, and how the shame from society was overwhelming. For most people, this was simply a moving story about family support, but for others, it was seen as yet another clue that Jay himself might be part of the LGBTQ+ community and that he might be keeping his own truth hidden. Another detail that keeps coming up is Jay-Z's connection to the late artist Jean-Michel Basquiat. Basquiat never publicly labeled his sexuality, but there were many rumors that he was bisexual. Jay has referenced Basquiat many times in his lyrics, and his signature hairstyle is said to have been inspired by him. Back in 2013, Jay-Z paid $22 million for one of Basquiat's paintings. For some people, this is simply an example of an artist being inspired by another artist. But for others, it's part of a pattern they believe points to Jay's own identity and preferences. The new wave of allegations came when Jonathan Hay, Rihanna's former publicist, spoke out. He didn't just suggest or hint, he flat out said that Jay-Z has had sexual relationships with men. He also brought up DJ Khaled, saying that Khaled is bisexual and that everyone in the industry has known this for years. According to Jonathan, these weren't just rumors. He says he personally saw things that confirm it. He claims that at one point, he witnessed Jay-Z getting intimate with a transgender woman while on tour, and he insists that Jay knew exactly who she was. This, he says, happened during the time Jay was already married to Bianca. Jonathan even went further, claiming that Jay-Z hosted what he described as freak-offs, similar to the ones Diddy is alleged to have had with Cassie. In these situations, Jay would bring other men into the bedroom with Bianca and watch as they were intimate with her. Ray J, according to Jonathan, was one of the men involved. Jonathan describes Jay as someone who enjoys watching rather than participating directly, a role that in some circles is referred to as a cuckold. For many people, Jonathan's words were shocking but believable, especially because he also accused DJ Khaled, and Khaled has faced similar rumors in the past. Back in 2018, Jonathan was arrested, and during police questioning, he made a series of explosive claims about various celebrities, including Diddy and DJ Khaled. At the time, people laughed it off, calling him unstable or attention-seeking. But in recent years, some of the things he said have been partially confirmed in legal documents and court testimonies related to other cases, which has made people take a second look at his statements. Jonathan also tied these claims into a larger theory about the music industry, mentioning things like the Bull, which he described as a branch of the Illuminati connected to fame, power, and certain behaviors behind closed doors. He said that people like Diddy and Jay-Z are part of this world, and that it explains how they've maintained such high levels of success for decades. Whether people believe in these theories or not, it added another layer of mystery and controversy to the conversation. And then there's Jaguar Wright, another figure who has been vocal about alleged secrets in the music industry. She has repeatedly claimed that Bianca is a lesbian and that her marriage to Jay-Z is a lavender marriage, a term used to describe a marriage that exists to cover up the true sexuality of one or both partners. According to Jaguar, Bianca and Jay-Z's relationship is more of a business arrangement than a traditional marriage, designed to protect their public images and keep the money flowing. Jonathan has stood by his claims without adding the word allegedly in most cases, which is risky given how serious these statements are. If Jay-Z or anyone else he's mentioned decided to take legal action, he could be in real trouble unless he can back up his words with solid proof. But Jonathan has made it clear he says he doesn't need to hide behind allegedly because he's speaking from personal experience and direct knowledge. These allegations have stirred up a storm online. In comment sections, some people say they've believed rumors about Jay-Z's sexuality for years. Others dismiss it as gossip with no real evidence. Some point to Jay's history of supporting LGBTQ+ rights and his mother's coming out story as signs of him being open-minded, not necessarily proof of his own orientation. Others think that his image as a tough, street-smart rapper is exactly why any truth about his private life would be kept hidden, because it could hurt the brand that has made him and Bianca billions of dollars. What's clear is that this isn't just going to disappear overnight. The combination of Jonathan's detailed claims, the resurfacing of old clips and interviews, and the involvement of other controversial figures like Diddy and Ray J means that people will be talking about this for a long time. Whether or not the truth ever comes out publicly, the conversation about Jay-Z's private life has been reignited, and it's touching on bigger topics about fame, image, and the lengths people will go to protect their secrets. When you step back and look at Jay-Z's entire career, it's almost unbelievable how many layers there are to his public image versus the private rumors. On one hand, he's seen as the ultimate success story, a man who came from the Marcy Projects, built a rap empire, became a billionaire, married one of the most famous women in the world, and has kept his place at the top for decades. On the other hand, there's this undercurrent of speculation that's followed him for years, whispering about his private preferences, his relationships behind closed doors, and the possibility that the marriage people admire so much might not be what it appears. For a long time, these whispers stayed just that, whispers. In the early 2000s, gossip blogs and small hip-hop forums would occasionally bring up claims about Jay-Z being interested in men or having unusual arrangements in his relationships. But mainstream media never touched it. The only time his personal life really took center stage was during the infamous elevator incident in 2014, when security footage leaked of Solange, Bianca's sister, physically attacking him in an elevator after the Met Gala. That video went viral worldwide, and while the official story was never fully explained, the leading theory was that Solange was furious over Jay's alleged infidelity. At the time, the assumption was that the other woman involved was a singer known as Becky with the good hair, a phrase Bianca herself used in her 2016 Lemonade album. But now, with these new allegations, some people are going back and wondering, was the elevator fight really about another woman, or was there more to the story? Could it have been about other relationships entirely, relationships that would shock the public if they came to light? Jonathan Hayes' comments have added fuel to this theory because he insists that Jay-Z's infidelities weren't always with women. He claims that in certain circles, Jay's preferences were an open secret, and if that's true, it could change how people interpret not just the elevator fight, but the Lemonade album itself. Some fans are even saying that maybe Bianca's cryptic lyrics weren't only about cheating, maybe they were about betrayal on a deeper, more personal level. Then there's Ray J's name coming up again in this context. Ray J, of course, is most famously linked to Kim Kardashian through their leaked tape from the early 2000s. But he's also been connected to multiple stories involving wealthy, powerful people allegedly arranging intimate encounters. In the past, Ray J himself has teased that he knows a lot of secrets about celebrities, often hinting that if he ever decided to talk, it would be explosive. If Jonathan Hayes' claims are accurate, Ray J was not only involved with Kim and other women in the industry, but also allegedly participated in scenarios set up by Jay-Z involving Bianca. This paints a picture of a world that is very different from the one fans see on red carpets and in music videos. It's a world where the richest and most famous people have the resources to hide whatever they want, surround themselves with loyal insiders, and keep control over their public image no matter what happens behind the scenes. And according to people like Jonathan Hay and Jaguar Wright, that secrecy is not just about protecting privacy, it's about protecting billion-dollar brands. What makes these claims so intriguing is that they connect to patterns we've seen before in the entertainment industry. There have been countless stories over the decades about celebrities entering into arranged marriages for publicity, power, or image management. Sometimes those marriages hide infidelity. Other times, they hide the fact that one or both partners are gay, bisexual, or simply don't fit the traditional mold that the public expects. Jaguar Wright's lavender marriage claim puts Jay-Z and Bianca directly into that category. If what she's saying is true, their relationship could be as much a strategic business alliance as it is a romantic partnership. But even with all these rumors, there's a part of the public that refuses to believe it. To many fans, Jay-Z is untouchable. They see him as a man who beat the odds, who turned himself into a mogul, who has given back to his community, and who has consistently stayed ahead of the competition. They point out that gossip and conspiracy theories tend to follow anyone at the top, and that just because someone says something doesn't make it true. After all, the entertainment industry is full of people looking for attention, money, or revenge, and sometimes a shocking story is the fastest way to get it. Still, the timing of Jonathan Hay's comments is interesting. They come at a moment when Diddy himself is facing major scrutiny, with lawsuits and allegations about his private life dominating headlines. Diddy and Jay-Z have been close friends and business partners for years, so any scandal involving one of them inevitably spills over onto the other. If the public starts to connect the dots between the wild parties, the alleged freak-offs, and the constant rumors about hidden relationships, it could damage not just Jay's personal image, but also his business empire, and this is where the question becomes much bigger than just one man's private life. It's about the way power works in the music industry. If these allegations are true, then it means that the most powerful figures in hip-hop have been using that power to create and protect a certain kind of closed-off, anything-goes world, a world where the rules don't apply, where the truth is hidden behind NDAs, loyal entourages, and multi-million-dollar payouts. The interesting thing is that even if Jay-Z never addresses these rumors directly, they may still leave a lasting mark on his public legacy. The internet has a way of keeping stories alive, especially when they involve big names, shocking claims, and unanswered questions. And as more people like Jonathan Hay come forward, whether they're telling the truth or just chasing headlines, the pressure builds for some kind of response.